can say your name again too.
Kandis Smith, baker, Little Red Fox. So I am rolling out some pie dough for pies. So I'm going to get a little bit of flour. I want to get flour in your recorder. Oh, okay. I'm going to sprinkle it. And just kind of like push it down to give myself a little bit of a head start and flour both sides so it doesn't stick to my table. My rolling pin, which is a little bit dirty because it gets a lot of use.
I'm right.
Pies all day.
Tell me about your baking story. How did you get started? I know you were in a corporate setting.
So I moved to Northern Virginia like 7 years ago. And when I moved here, I worked in like administrative business operation roles at like several different types of businesses. I worked at a real estate agency. The last job that I had before I became a baker was I was a business operations manager for a process risk management company in Tyson's Corner. And that was like kind of the worst because I was like so bored that I was like going insane. And like it was like all finally like coming to a head, like years of like working in offices, like not doing what I knew. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew it wasn't that. And so then one day like I just decided that I was gonna pursue baking, and so I started doing like some baking at home to like get a feel for if it was something that I wanted to pursue. And I really loved it. It gave me a lot of joy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like I found it. Like this is what I'm gonna do. And then I just got on Craigslist, and I literally every day would just go and Google the words baking internship, like things like that, just to see if there was anything that would pop up. And then one day there was an ad for a baking intern for the neighborhood restaurant group. And specifically, Tiffany McIsaac, who was the pastry chef there at the time, but they own Church Key, which was like my favorite craft beer bar because I was so into craft beer. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Like I get to like bake for the first time and also do it for a company that owns my favorite beer bar. Like this is incredible. So I was like, obviously this is not gonna happen for you, Kandis. It's too perfect to be true. But I went and I interned there for a few months, and they offered me a job, and I worked there for like a year and a half, and that's pretty much what my equivalent of culinary school is, because I didn't go to culinary school. And then once that was over, I once again was on Craigslist, and I found Little Red Fox, and I looked at their website, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like exactly what I'm into. This is my whole world right here. So I came here, and as soon as I stepped in the door, I was like, yes. I was like, this is amazing. It was like everything that like I loved in like one spot, and it was like really exciting, and that's kind of how I ended up here.
Now you're the pie extraordinaire.
I know, and that's something that totally evolved here. Like I'd never done anything like that before working here, and one day I just like had this idea, and I was like, Lauren, what if I like cut something out of pie dough and put it on top of the pie? And she was like, yeah, sure, because I mean there's a lot of like creative freedom, you know. That's what I'm so like grateful for, because I don't think I've ever would have maybe found this like so specific niche of baking if I hadn't have been in an environment where they were like so willing to like foster creativity. So I just like started doing it, and it like started like looking really pretty, and then I did more of them, and now it's a thing.
So the custom pies blossomed from the Fox.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Like it is the first time I had ever even tried to like hold a knife like a pencil and like cut something out of pie dough like it's a piece of paper.
So what's in the dough?
The dough is just flour, salt, sugar, and butter. Butter is the only fat that we use. We use about 4 pounds of butter for about 16 pies. So what is that divided?
That's something for the readers to find out.
Yeah, that's a little math that you can do. We won't say it out loud. We don't want to make it sound too bad. But butter is what gives it the super flaky texture. Some people use shortening, like vegetable shortening. Some people use lard, which is nice, but then it's not vegetarian, and then you kind of like limit a lot of people like who can have it because they don't want to eat lard.
I like eating lard.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy pie crusts that have lard in them. Not to say anything that's negative about them, because I really do like them, but I mean, butter's where it's at.
Butter makes everything better.
Butter makes everything better, correct.